Hi, afternoon, guys. We'll just give everyone a few minutes to join and yeah, 2 or 3 minutes and we'll start the webinar. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Hi, everyone. We'll just wait another minute or two for everybody to join. We'll let you know when we're going to start. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the first TP-Link South Africa Aginet webinar of 2026, and thank you for joining us today. We know everyone's busy, and we really appreciate you taking this time to be with us. My name's Emmanuel. I'm the ISP Sales Manager of TP-Link South Africa. Next to me is my Senior Technical Engineer / sometimes Account Manager for the ISP vertical at TP-Link. Today's session will cover an introduction to the Aginet ecosystem. We will provide an overview of the platform solutions and the opportunity it offers ISPs. So before we get technical, let's quickly look at where Aginet fits into the ISP environment. Aginet is not just a router, or just a platform. It's a complete ecosystem designed around ISP operations, from fiber access, GPON, and FTTX, all the way through to the customer's in-home Wi-Fi experience. Everything sits inside a single integrated platform. And that matters because ISP today are under pressure from two sides. One being customers expect perfect Wi-Fi everywhere. I'm sure you hear that every day, our Wi-Fi is down, Wi-Fi is not great. And ISPs must simultaneously reduce operational costs. CapEx is important for ISPs, and to mitigate these scenarios, this is why we're showcasing our platforms today. So the challenge becomes, how do you improve customer experience without increasing support overheads? Aginet solves this across both layers. On the customer side, Aginet solves, as I said, on both sides, using Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 7, easy mesh, and improved coverage. On the operational side, we have our ACS platform as well as our TAUC platform, which we'll showcase later in the webinar. This includes centralized visibility, remote troubleshooting, provisioning, firmware management, a full lifecycle control of devices. And locally, this is backed by in-country stock. As you're aware, or if you're not aware, TP-Link has its own warehousing in South Africa, so everything is done in-house. The devices are manufactured in our factories. It's shipped to our warehouses in South Africa. This is then distributed through our national distribution partners. We have a local technical and sales team and a dedicated ISP team. This is to assist you with pre-sales, post-sales, as well as the sales scenarios in terms of how we can offer upsell opportunities to our ISP customers, whether you're an existing customer or potentially a new ISP customer that we can look at assisting. So it's a full solution that we offer, and it's all done locally. We also have a marketing team, so if there's campaigns that need to be organized, open days, events, we're happy to also assist with that. So as I said, it's a full solution that you get from TP-Link South Africa. This is just not hardware, it's a long-term operational platform supported locally. As we go through, you'll see how all of this connects. Just before looking at the technical solution, guys, we need to understand what ISPs are dealing with today. I think the biggest issue now isn't really connectivity, it's Wi-Fi. So people complain about Wi-Fi, they want better Wi-Fi. Customers don't distinguish between the fiber line and the Wi-Fi. If Netflix buffers, Teams calls drop, coverage is poor, the ISP is always blamed immediately. Even if the fiber line is working perfectly, I can vouch for this, having a personal experience at home. The FNO's line was fine, the ISP was down, but there were other issues. So I experienced this working for a vendor selling ISP solutions. I can hands-on experience understand the frustration that ISPs experience on a daily. This creates a chain reaction, guys. More support calls, I'm sure you know that, more troubleshooting, more truck rolls, and ultimately higher customer churn. Customers always want to blame the ISP, and they threaten to say, we're not happy with your services, we're going to go to another ISP, but ultimately they're going to have the same issue down the road. So the home improved environment is becoming more complex, guys, more connected devices, more streaming, gaming, remote work, mesh networks. And customers expect it all to work seamlessly. I'm sure you've heard that every single day. Another key issue is device resets. I think that's one of the biggest issues that we experience. Customer presses reset, triple PoE settings are lost, Wi-Fi names disappear, and the ISP must manually recover or reprovision. This is timely, it's costly, and this is at scale. That drives operational costs up very, very quickly. And we know the margins are small on fiber lines. Obviously, the bigger the packages, the more revenue. However, we can mitigate this with the ACS TAUC Aginet platform. And on top of that, limited remote visibility means troubleshooting is often reactive and not proactive. So the real challenge is, how do we improve the customer experience? Number one, because as they say, the customer is king, while still controlling operational costs. The objective is to keep your operational costs down as little as possible. I'm sure you can relate to that as business owners dealing with this every single day. And that's exactly what Aginet is designed to solve. We'll take questions at the end. And with that, I'll hand over to Ron.
Thanks, Emmanuel. And thanks everyone for joining. Okay, so today we'll walk through the Aginet ecosystem and how TP-Link helps ISPs simplify operations. obviously while improving the Wi-Fi experience on the customer end. We'll start with the access layer, GPON and FTTX. Then we'll move to the Wi-Fi 6, 7, and easy mesh stuff. And then in the second half, we'll look at ACS and TAUC. And we'll also give you a short demo just to bring everything together in a real world environment. All right, so this slide gives a high-level view of the ecosystem. This is where Aginet really stands out. Instead of separate solutions for access, Wi-Fi, and management, everything's designed to work in one integrated system. Starting at the access layer, GPON, fiber to the X, then onto the customer premises, the ONT, router, easy mesh satellite devices, and so on. Importantly, these layers integrate natively. So instead of managing multiple vendors and systems, you manage one unified platform. Underneath that is the management layer. ACS handles control, provisioning, and diagnostics, while TAUC includes all of that with added visibility and analytics. So the ISP gains end-to-end visibility from fiber all the way to the in-home Wi-Fi experience. And that's what simplifies network operations, obviously while improving the customer experience at the same time. Okay, so this slide shows end-to-end the whole architecture from the management layer to the from the access layer to the management layer, and also the customer side on the right. From there, everything connects into one management layer, either ACS or TAUC or TOC, depending on how the ISP is structured. Just to clarify, ACS already delivers a full management and control of devices, while TAUC takes that further, just brings it into the cloud. Obviously, with better visibility, analytics, and scalability using TR369 protocols. It's the next generation of TR069, basically. From there, we move into the customer environment, the ONT, router, easy mesh, and Wi-Fi. The key concept here is a centralized end-to-end control plane. Instead of treating monitoring, provisioning, support, and Wi-Fi separately, Aginet combines everything into a single operational ecosystem, which reduces manual effort, improves troubleshooting speed, and enables consistency across large deployments. So from a technology perspective, Wi-Fi continues to evolve quickly. Wi-Fi 6 introduced improved efficiency, capacity, and performance in dense environments. Wi-Fi 7 takes us further, higher throughput, lower latency, and technologies like multi-link operation. This directly improves user experience, better streaming, gaming, work from home performance. And for ISPs, this enables premium service offerings. Aginet supports a wide product portfolio from entry-level deployments, Wi-Fi 4, Wi-Fi 5, to high-performance Wi-Fi 7 mesh environments. So ISPs can scale solutions based on customer needs, service tiers, and budgets. One of the biggest challenges ISPs face is in-home Wi-Fi experience. Because often the fiber is working perfectly, but the experience is not. Dead zones, weak signals, disconnects while moving. Traditionally, adding extenders created more complexity, but Easy Mesh solves this by creating one unified, intelligent Wi-Fi network. Devices automatically connect to the best node, so there are no dropped calls, smoother streaming, better roaming. For ISPs, this means fewer support tickets, better customer satisfaction, and also upsell opportunities for larger homes. It improves the whole experience and the business model. Okay, so Aginet integrates fiber access directly into the ecosystem. This allows scalable fiber to the X deployments while keeping full integration with Wi-Fi and management platforms. So rollout becomes simpler and long-term expansion is easier to manage. Okay, so this slide brings together the management components. ACS for device management, DAUC for enhanced cloud visibility, and then Aginet config for pre-provisioning. Then you've also got the app for customer self-service. So this all integrates into a nice ecosystem. These create a complete operational environment, better visibility, faster diagnostics, simplified deployment, and obviously lower operational overheads. Okay, so getting into ACS. This is where ISPs start seeing operational value. Traditionally, many issues result on on-site visits, but many of these can be resolved remotely. ACS provides that capability. ISPs can achieve the following: reboot devices, check configurations, run diagnostics, ping tests, up and download speed tests, push firmware updates, configuration files, all from one centralized platform. This allows faster response, proactive resolution, and significantly reduces truck rolls and costs. Moving on to DAUC, the Aginet Unified Cloud. So this is essentially ACS that's evolved into a cloud platform. It provides centralized visibility across the entire network. So your all-in-one ONTs, routers, mesh devices, hanging off routers, all in one ONTs, clients, statistics, performance, all in a single view. Onboarding is simplified, a bit different than how you'd onboard on a traditional ACS. So you use a MAC and serial number, and you'll just add it to a list. As soon as those devices power up, they'll be added to your DAUC network. This then means all these devices have real-time telemetry and TR369 capabilities. This allows ISPs to gain faster insights into device health, performance, Wi-Fi quality, and all the stuff I mentioned earlier. So operations shift from reactive to proactive and data-driven. And then on the customer side, as you can see, the Aginet app, downloadable from any app store. The app plays a key role. It allows the users to manage their network directly. So connected devices, SSID configurations, Wi-Fi performance, parental controls also. This reduces reliance on ISP support, while also improving user experience and satisfaction. So both the ISP and the customer benefit from this. Moving on to Aginet config. So Aginet config is what you'd use typically before deploying devices in your network. That would essentially point to the ACS. But pre-deployment configurations can include settings like SSIDs, VLANs, WAN management, VLANs, and service interfaces, credentials, branding. You could add your logos to the web UI and the Aginet app, login screens. The most important with Aginet config is configurations are persistent. So even after a reset, whatever configuration the ISP has loaded onto the devices will fail over back to that ISP configuration. So customers sometimes just resets a router because they don't have Wi-Fi, but in the end that then breaks connection back to the ISP. So triple PoE credentials and all that can be hard coded into the router. The device then on boot up would dial back into the ISP network. So this reduces support calls, ensures consistency, and significantly improves deployment efficiency at scale. All right, so to summarize, Aginet helps ISPs reduce operational costs, improve customer experience, and scale efficiently. What you'll see next ties everything together with visibility through TAUC, control through ACS, and real-time device management. We can identify how quickly we can pinpoint the issue, or just have an overall view of a network. Okay, so I'll shortly be giving you a demo on that. Just need to quickly get my Windows.
Guys, there is a Q&A tab at the bottom, at the top of the screen. So if you have any questions, please send us those questions. And after the demo, we'll be happy to answer as many questions as possible. Ruan's just going to set up the live demo for you guys, just to see how easy and streamlined it is to load devices. So Ruan's busy with that now. We'll let you know when the live demo starts. So we wait for your Q&A, guys. Looking forward to answering questions.
All right. So as you can see here, this is the TAUC platform. I've set up a few test devices in our office. This is your overall network list. So this basically gives you an overview of what's happening in your account. So one account could be linked to an ISP, everyone in the network operations center. I've only loaded 2 devices in here, but each device you see here is actually a network. So behind that network, you could have a number of meshed devices as well. So just need to... Okay, so as you can see here, the EX511, this is our main router, and it's got an EX141 that I made sure is offline just to report, just to showcase how it would report if there's something wrong with the network. So back to the networks list, as we can see here, this one is fine. The EX220 network is fine, it's online, but it's reporting there's an abnormality in this network here. Apart from that, so let's move into the network that is stable. As we can see, everything is fine there. We can have a look at the network health. This is just some features. I've plugged the device in a bit earlier today. So obviously the reporting isn't. I mean, the scores we'll get here will not be good, but the score is based on your overall network performance. You got network stability, environment interference. We got 30-day speed test performance, Wi-Fi coverage, as well as Wi-Fi client health that we can have a look at. We haven't connected anything to this router, so there will be nothing there. Network events. Let's see if we can find any logs here. So on this device, there's no logs, but I have created a config on the other device, an additional WAN configuration. So as we can see here, we've got the internet configuration, and I've created a triple PoE on VLAN 10. So this is enabled, but obviously the device is failing to dial into that service. So on network event, we should actually see that there are triple PoE errors. As you can see there, all the errors are live. It's in real time. If we switch off the interface and switch it on right now, we'll see more of them. So yeah, that's just a basics of TAUC. Just a quick overview. As we've mentioned, we've kind of gone in reverse now. I'd also like to show you the ACS. This is more traditional TR069 management. I've also added a few devices on this network. What I can show you is this device here is our main device dialing out into the ACS, and then I've meshed this device with Easy Mesh on to that device on the bottom. The EX521 is the main device, and the HX220 is the secondary device. Both do report into the ACS, although there's no ACS configurations on the HX220, it pulls into the system as a secondary device. From the ACS, we also have a few functions. So we could go to the device here. Basic stuff like if the customer asks you to reset a Wi-Fi password, for instance, or change the LAN network, or even reboot the device, we can do that all through this one portal. So wireless settings, as I said, customers are called now to change the SSID. So we could change it to Aginet demo, and let's just get there. And we can save that. This will now push this new SSID naming to the device without logging into its WAN management portal. We can run diagnostics such as obviously ping tests, upload, download, speed tests, trace route tests, all from a single portal. As I mentioned, we can also reboot or factory reset the device from this portal, as well as batch configure firmware upgrades, batch configure configurations. We can push firmware upgrades all from a single platform. And yeah, just to also, we need to say that TAUC is basically ACS or ACS that's just enhanced in quite a few protocols and functionalities. Obviously, you've got the Wi-Fi part of it, Wi-Fi analytics, Wi-Fi data on TAUC, which you don't have such a broad view in standard ACS.
Guys, just to add to what Rowan's saying regarding the two different platforms, the ACS that Rowan's shown on the screen now is a completely free service. Okay. We've had many questions, especially this year, around our TAUC platform. There is some exciting news on the TAUC platform. I think what we'll do as a brand, we will send you relevant information on the TAUC situation. The TAUC situation is that it's a paid service, right? Because it's cloud. But what we're doing as a vendor, we're looking at scenarios where we're probably going to offer an entry-level TAUC platform. We're busy finalizing the ins and outs of it, but I'm excited to say that's something we are going to launch as a vendor. So you're going to get TAUC Basic, if you want to call it that. We might name it something else, but that is in the works, and it's definitely going to be launched and be offered to ISPs as a solution to have a cloud TAUC platform as a free service. Obviously, the higher the TAUC features and functions go, there is a paid version, but Aginet ACS is completely free. Okay, that might have been a question, so I think I've answered that. I don't see any questions as yet. That's fine. Ruan's going to showcase a couple of more things.
Yeah, I think before we move on to the pre-configuration side, I'll just give a quick overview of how the pre-configuration would work. But yes, the TAUC works on a few TR protocols. The free version would most likely just use TR069 as the protocol, and yeah, we'll definitely send updates on that as we go along, as we finalize the structure. But it is quite exciting having a cloud platform without you installing ACS onto your own network, having access to a cloud platform to manage your devices from. So yeah, okay. So as we've said, TAUC, you simply add a new device or network into the platform. That you can do this prior to powering on the router. If you have the serial number and MAC address, you add them in here. For instance, that you'll add your network name. So this might be customer 5, their username and phone number, email, whatever you have on your CRM, you could add this here, and you simply click on save. Obviously, it won't save now because those are definitely not valid serial numbers or MAC addresses. So once you've done that, as soon as the device boots up and it's got internet breakout, it will sign into this, and you have full manageability. With ACS, standard ACS, there is a feature called Aginet configuration. So what you'll typically do with Aginet config is export a configuration file from a device with a certain model of a device. So in this device configuration, you'll add your ACS details, username, passwords. You could specify custom Wi-Fi names, SSIDs, passwords, and so on. You could add your profiles, your company profiles in the configuration. And yeah, basically you export this config and import it into this tool here. So a configuration would typically be a ISP config or a configuration pointing to a certain ACS. You would upload the bin file in this into a profile, and you'll click on configure. You'll decide which profile you're going to use, and you'll confirm. The configuration will then run. You could do up to 20 devices at a time. Obviously, your PC with the software running would be plugged into a switch. The switch would be plugged into the routers, LAN ports, and batch configuration would take a few seconds. Once these devices then reboot or boot up again, the configuration would load, and this would be your ISP pre-config. And that is about it. This is the basics of it. We'll have another session again in 2 weeks.
So our next webinar is the 3rd of June.
Yeah.
We'll send that out probably tomorrow. It'd be nice to have you guys on there. And the each webinar that we host and offer, there's going to be different a look into the platforms. There could be a more deep dive into the technical ACS or the TAUC. So we'll send out the webinar tomorrow. And so, guys, that brings us to the end of the session. We're going to open up questions and discussion. Please feel free to drop questions in the chat, whether it's around the platform, deployment, or even specific challenges you're seeing in your own networks. And while those questions come in, guys, we'll start with a few common ones that we typically get from ISPs. We'll just wait for the questions to come in. Okay. Where does Aginet typically fit into an existing ISP network?
Okay, so the short answer is it can fit in at multiple levels. Some ISPs adopt it purely as a CPE, like an end solution or Wi-Fi solution, while other ISPs take on a full ecosystem approach, including like GPON, the GPON layer, management platforms, and Wi-Fi together. It really depends on the ISP strategy, but the platform's designed to scale in gradually. Okay, so is there a way of integrating existing managed TP-Link Deco sites to this platform? All right, so there are a few Deco devices that support TR069, like the X55. There's a list. We can share the list with you. If you're welcome to send us an email. They will reach right back to you. Reach out to you. Okay, so where it says 3-day speed test, is it randomly conducting speed tests automatically, or will it show results of tests initiated by the user? So you could set in your Wi-Fi management, you could set a profile, a speed test profile, and this will then be done periodically. I see there's a few more questions. It's opening up. Okay, so do these solutions only work for TP-Link devices or any device? For example, can only TP-Link devices be added? Yes. So these platforms, especially the ACS, we've designed this to communicate only with our devices. There is obviously a reason for that, but the TAUC platform, there are rumors that we might open it up to third-party vendors in the future. The timeline's not clear yet, but yes, the TAUC will most likely be opened up. Yeah.
Does this create revenue opportunities? Will you reply to that? Revenue opportunity. Definitely. So, for example, if a customer's got a Wi-Fi 5 router, as an example, it's got a 20 meg line. Customer's got a bigger house, then you could upsell with Wi-Fi mesh units, maybe upsell with a router, Wi-Fi 6 or 7. So yeah, definitely upsell opportunities. Obviously, your higher fiber packages, the people tend to have bigger properties, where mesh devices is certainly an additional revenue stream to upsell to your customer base. So yes, definitely.
Okay, here's another question. If I use the app, do I have to be connected to the network to make changes, or can I do them remotely on a different network or mobile data, for example? Okay, so certainly. So the device dials out to the internet. It then dials onto the app server. So as long as that device has internet breakout and your phone that you're making the changes on has internet breakout, it's totally open to configure whatever you need to. It doesn't work like on Bluetooth or something that you have to be in range of it. All right. So just opening up the other questions. Okay. We'll get to you. We'll get to you. The professional solutions. We'll get in contact with you. Okay. if I want to block a user from my network and block their MAC address, but they use a randomized MAC address every time and still connect to my network, am I able to block the serial so that they cannot connect? We will look into this, but typically in a scenario like this is you'll have a white list on your routers. So you then have a list of devices that can connect and all others would be blocked. But we will get back to you on the serial number. Just opening up the other. A few more questions here. Do I need to replace everything to get started? Or do I need to replace everything to start using Aginet? Not at all. You could have Aginet set up or the ACS set up for all your new devices. But yeah, no need to get rid of your old equipment. You could just build on whatever you have. For batch configuration, is there a way to set up more than 20 devices at a time? We haven't tested more than 20, although it can be possible. I mean, it all depends on the hardware you're using at the end of the day. But yeah, it's a good question. I'd like to put that to the test, actually. All right, guys. I think we've covered most of these questions. If there's anything that we've missed, or if there's new questions, you're more than welcome to add. We're going to stay online for a few more minutes. So yeah, happy to answer some more questions.
Guys, we'll also be sending you a thank you email for attending the webinar. As I mentioned earlier, we having our second webinar for the year on the 3rd of June. We will send you the invitation for that. The topic of that webinar will be in the subject line. So we're having a few of these this year. It's just about showing our customers, whether you're a new TP-Link customer, an ISP, FNO, or WISP, showcasing our product lines, the support that you're going to get from TP-Link. It's not just about a device. It's about us offering the full experience from sales, technical, the support that you're going to get. And you can understand the ecosystem of Aginet. So it's exciting to showcase this to your customers. We're looking forward to the next webinar. And as I mentioned, we'll send you an email. And if there's any more questions, you can reply to the email accordingly. I know Rowan will look at the technical questions in the Q&A session, and he'll reply with that. So thank you, everybody. We really appreciate your time. So I know it's the end of the week nearly. People are busy, so we appreciate it. And we're looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, okay. So doesn't look like we've got any more questions coming in. Just from my side, also, thank you everyone for joining. This was our first Aginet webinar. Yeah, looking forward to the next and interacting a bit more. Okay, yeah, we've got another post here. Okay, so I understand that TAUC is a cloud service. What do we require to set up Aginet service specs? Obviously, this needs some hardware. Just interested in the resources it takes. Okay, so typically on up to 1,000 devices, I'd say a 4-core CPU, 16 gigs of RAM, and like 50 gigs of hard drive space would be more than enough. Obviously, you could scale that up as you grow your network. The ACS does report statistics on hardware utilization. So if you see that running low, it's probably time that you upgrade it. But yeah, so yeah, 4 cores, 16 gigs and 50 gigs of hard drive. Okay, we've got another question here. If I have a problem with my internet, would there be a greater delay in response due to finding out whether the problem is with TP-Link, Aginet, or my ISP? So as a ISP, you would typically see that you've lost connection to that CPE. From a client perspective, this is it might be difficult to see if the device is broken or if the uplink is off. But most of our devices have a internet activity light, so if it's got breakout, it would indicate that there is breakout. So yes, obviously, if the device does not power on, for instance, that's then a router issue. Yeah, I hope that answers your question.
But just from my side, thank you, everybody. I think it's been a very informative session. As I mentioned, every session will get more technical. We've also got some exciting things coming up as a vendor. As I mentioned, TAUC. Once that's finalized, we'll start sending it out. We'll bring it up more. We'll discuss the basic package, the one that's for free versus the ones that is a paid service. We've also got a Macusa's product line that is for ISPs who are price sensitive, which is common nowadays. We'll showcase that later this year. So there's a lot of opportunities across the spectrum for ISPs with FNOs with TP-Link. So, if you want an entry-level device, you can look at Macusa's. Our Aginet stack, we've got Wi-Fi 5 devices up to Wi-Fi 7. We've got mesh units from Wi-Fi 5 to 7. On the Macusa's side, we've got Macusa's Halo mesh units, which also has TR069. As I said, we'll showcase that other webinars. But if you want information on that, please reach out to us. When we send you the email, we're happy to meet with you face to face. If we've never met with you, we're happy to do that. If you're based in another region, not Gauteng, we're happy to do a Teams meeting. If you're based in Gauteng, we're happy to meet you at your office or our office. You're more than welcome to come visit us. So yeah, very excited to have this webinar and the ones that are going to follow. Like I said, we'll send the next invitation tomorrow.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thanks again for joining. And looking forward to the next one.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good afternoon. Thank you.